I'm James Drinkle Clements. On Hacking the Truth today, I would like to talk to you about an individual I had the pleasure of meeting who recently passed away, Regis Philbin. Now, an ironic thing happened, and a lot of times we call it, that's just a happenstance, a coincidence. But I was cleaning out one of my boxes of many boxes I have of memorabilia, and that was Friday, late Friday. And I found a Rolodex card in the bottom, and I picked the Rolodex card up, and I looked at it, and I read it, and all these memories started flooding back of the experience I had with this individual, his co-host, the whole thing that was surrounding this appearance on television. And the Rolodex was Regis Philbin, the only card at the bottom of that box. The next morning I got up and found out he had passed away. Now, you can call it a coincidence, you can call it whatever you like. I just think it was a message. So I would like to talk to you about this man and how I came to meet him. At one time, I had a company that promoted various athletes, different kind of, I had the John F. Kennedy Museum, which traveled the country, the Elvis Museum, worked with Herschel Walker, a number of other people, but one of them was a local Jacksonville person named Ted St. Martin. He was the record holder for free throws in basketball. And he was one of my clients. I had him on my television show, What's Your Opinion, many times during the years. And I thought, I need to promote him. So I started promoting him. I said, this guy holds a world's record. What can I do to really get him a lot of attention? And one morning I was watching Regis with Kathie Lee, and that was the number one show in the morning. There's never been a ratings since what these two had. And I started listening to him, and he was a real big Notre Dame football fan, loved sports, loved challenges, would do anything on the show. I went over to Ted's house, and I said, Ted, what I would like you to do is autograph this basketball and say, Dear Regis, I challenge you to the best of 10, Ted St. Martin. He said, okay, I'll do that. Well, I packaged it up, sent all the material off to Regis and Kathie Lee. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Ted St. Martin. At that time, he held the world's record for free throws. Now, think about this. He made 2,036 free throws without missing one. Let that sink in a minute. Now, you'd think that's impossible. Well, he did it. And I used to go by his house every once in a while, and we'd go out back. He'd say, okay, you go first. One time I made 12 in a row. I thought it was pretty good. He thought it was pretty good. It was amazing. After about 100, I said, that's enough. We don't need to shoot anymore. But he went on to set the world's record for baskets in 24 hours. 14,466 free throws in 24 hours. Let that sink in. But to me, his most amazing world record, which he set in 1998, he made 5,221 free throws without a miss. Took him about 7 hours and 40 minutes, I believe, and all he did was drink fluid. I don't believe it. I don't think anybody can do it, but he did it. That is amazing. One day later, I get a phone call from one of the producers of the show, and they booked us. Got the plane tickets, landed in New York. It was probably about a week later. Limousine's there, takes us to the hotel. Great place. Next morning, breakfast. Picks us up at the hotel, takes us downtown to the studio, and we had to set up the basketball goal on the street because it was too big to put inside the studio. And it was pretty windy that day. So we're getting everything going. Ted's shooting, I'm rebounding. And Regis pulls up. He gets out of the limo and waves and talks to us a little bit and goes in. And then we finish the setup. We go into the green room. and waiting to go on the show. And at that time, my daughter lived in New York, so I had her in the audience. And so we're sitting in the green room and we're chatting, and in walks this another person who's going to be on the show and sits down. And there's a movie called Somewhere in Time. It's a great movie. I love it, with Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeves. Well, Jane Seymour comes in and sits down, and I had this crazy crush on her for years. I had to look over at Justin. And it was quite a moment. So we sat in the green room and we talked. And so when our time came, we went out on the street where the basketball goal was set up, and Regis and Kathie Lee came out and challenged Ted to best of 10. Well, Ted actually did miss a couple because it was so windy, but easily defeated both of them. And we had a lot of laughs in the process. But my best time with people that I've interviewed over my 40 years has definitely been when you're off the air and you really get a sense of what a person is like. Now, I've worked with a lot of people and interviewed a lot of people. I'm going to mention a few, and I know I'm going to forget more than I'll ever remember. I've worked with Bob Denver, and you probably know him from Gilligan's Island. Obviously, you know Jerry Seinfeld, Tim Allen, Jeff Foxworthy. I used to do stand-up. Wolfman Jack from a number of years back, and he made an appearance on American Graffiti, a great movie. Forrest Tucker, a local fella. Jay Thomas, who went on to be on Mork and Mindy and Cheers. Just many, many people in show business, likes of Sid Caesar, Art Fleming, the original host of Jeopardy. I could go on and on. A lot of these people you meet don't live up to your expectations of what you think they will be. Well, most of them do, I'll have to admit that, and had some great times with many of them. But Regis Philbin was one of the most honest, fun-loving, genuine people I've ever been around. He grabbed you, hugged you, laughed. He liked Notre Dame. I liked the Florida Gators. And Kathie Lee was just about the same. They were so down to earth. It was great to see two people who were so popular at that time. And at the height, and this was probably 30 years ago, he was making $20 million a year for that show. That gives you some idea of how popular it was. So that's the kind of person he was. I just wanted to pass that along. The things you're reading about him, and I've gone online and read them, about what a great man he is, what a great family man he is, and all those things are absolutely true. Gonna miss just seeing his face every once in a while, but definitely thank you, Regis, for those wonderful memories.